For every human being, life starts to make sense from the very day you discover your true purpose. The truth, however, is that discovering a purpose is never equal to fulfilling that purpose. In fact, the distance between the discovery of your purpose and fulfilling that purpose is a lifelong journey of ups and downs, which everybody grapples with. And so, as much as finding one's purpose is important in life's journey, knowing a purpose but not how to fulfill that purpose actually leaves you as restless as you were before you found the purpose. The reason is that finding purpose brings you to the end of the journey of self-discovery, but at the same time, it dumps you at the doorstep of the journey to discover how to fulfill that purpose. In this episode of Wisdom Diary, I want us to reflect on how to look for answers from nowhere else but from inside yourself as to how to fulfill your purpose. For many of us, it's normal practice to turn to books, the advice of wise people around us, and other sources in our effort to find answers to the questions we confront in life. The reality, however, is that as much as all those sources are helpful in pointing us in the right direction, because no two people are ever the same, there's no way someone else's experiences will ever be able to generate all the answers you need on your path to your destiny. It's thus important to always find ways of accessing answers that are tailor-made for your situation. And in doing that, turning to look inside yourself is important. In fact, it's so important because every human being carries some answers for their own challenges. It is in that context that if you look closely within and listen intensely to your heart, you will always be able to find at least some of the answers you've been desperately searching for to be able to overcome certain hurdles in life. To be able to answer or generate answers about your purpose from within, you will first have to understand the relationship between the creator, the creature, and empowerment. From the perspective of a creator or the creator, purpose always determines empowerment. That means that what a particular thing is meant to be used for is what determines the features put into that particular thing. But at the level of the creature or the created, empowerment always determines purpose. This simple fact means that the best way for a creature to understand what it's been meant to do by its creator is to identify exactly its empowerment. This is even true in today's engineering. Any vehicle that has been built for war comes with features that makes it ready for combat situations. And so it is the empowerment of that particular vehicle or its features that determines whether that vehicle is a war machine or not. And so any user of that vehicle has to understand the vehicle as a first step to knowing the vehicle's true purpose and how to maximize that. That is to say that what you are endowed with in terms of gifts and talents are manuals in themselves as to what your purpose should be and how to exploit that purpose to its maximum. So if what you carry is a manual in itself, what does what you carry tell you when you look closely at it? And here, let me use the example of a seed to illustrate what our endowments tell us about our purpose. Anytime you pick up a seed, it represents three things. Number one, it represents a reward for past actions or the sacrifices of both the plant and the farmer who took care of it. In the same way, a new car represents the reward of the hard work of those who put the many parts together. If you apply that logic to who you are, it means that no matter who you are a product of the price others paid for you to be here. And so your toils should also aim to help those who are meant to come after you. Most importantly, it also means that your end is meant to become the beginning of someone else. And so if for any reason you are not able to uphold that responsibility, your failure will represent the truncation of the baton of opportunity that was relayed to you to be passed to those to come after you. It makes you part of a chain. Just as you are a product of other people's toils, so does the destinies of others depend on you. For that reason, sometimes even when you want to give up as a parent, for instance, you need to encourage yourself by remembering what you represent to those whose destinies depend on you, so you can keep moving. Number 2, any seed you pick up also represents the promise that if you can pay the right price, what you are is the beginning of something bigger. Agriculturists will tell you that a seed is a miniature plant in an arrested state of development. That means that the small seed you see is in fact a plant, but in a very small form. Anyone with an eye for the future and chooses to see beyond the size of the seed, therefore finds a harvest. It's thus visionary to always choose to see the harvest in any given seed. If you understand this principle, then you need not judge seeds by their present miniature form, but by the tree they are meant to grow into. Which is to say that you will have to stop downplaying yourself because of your present situation or judging others by their feeble and miniature steps, but rather focus on who they are by where they are going. Always remember that the wise do not judge a mustard seed by its size, but by the usefulness of the mustard tree. Number 3 is every seed is a capsule of instructions as to what ought to be done. That is why everybody who knows what a seed is doesn't need to be lectured on what it requires to become a big plant. Every farmer knows that he can't expect a harvest from a seed he's not taking care of, which means that even if you know what you carry as a person, it can only be useful if you nurture it. What all this means is that if you can make time to look inside for answers, there are many you've been preloaded with. What you carry in your life is thus a primary manual you should learn to read and understand. Whilst you go about trying to find answers from within yourself, always remember that your step in the right direction will never lead you to the left. So keep taking the steps to move in the right direction. And thanks very much for making time to watch this episode of Wisdom Diary. Do remember to subscribe to our channel for more from our production crew. God bless you.